I'm not buying the COVID thing. And yeah, it's an illness, and yeah, people are sick. But here's why I'm not buying it: is because if this is the worst pandemic to hit the world since the plague in the Middle Ages, then why were they leaving the validation of vaccination up to a guy in Walgreens with a Sharpie? The IRS can find you if you shorted them $100. But no, you get a guy who's working at Walgreens goes, there you go, good to go, go wherever you want.
Well, and now we know that vaccine was not a vaccine. That's why they had to literally change the definition of what a vaccine is in the dictionary. You go to 2019 and look at the definition of what a vaccine is, and you look at the definition now, they're different. It used to say that a vaccine creates immunity from a virus. Now it says it creates a immune response, which is totally different, right? But everybody I know who got the COVID vaccine also got COVID. In fact, as many shots as you got is usually how many times you got COVID. I got 2 shots. I got COVID actually 3 times. So, wow. And then it got revealed in the European Parliament when an executive from Pfizer was testifying. They asked, hey, did you know that the vaccine didn't stop transmission? Did you test it to see if it stopped transmission? And they said no. And they said, but you told everybody? Yeah. Well, we didn't know. We were moving at the speed of science and we didn't know. But they did. They always knew. They didn't even test it to see if it stopped transmission or contraction, which is the point of taking a vaccine in the first place. And so you were on that. You were right. And by the way, the hospitals were never overflowing. That's why all those nurses were allowed to do intricate dance routines in empty hospital wards. So people, here's the thing, Kev, you were right about COVID and the virus. But the thing is that people, they were so inundated with propaganda that they'll never be able to wrap their brains around how big of a lie they were told about COVID. The virus is real. It was invented by Dr. Fauci. Even though Barack Obama stopped that, it's called gain of function research, where they take a virus and make it more deadly and more infectious. Barack Obama put a stop to that because everywhere they were doing that kind of research in the United States, the virus would escape and it would infect people. And he said, hey, this is dangerous. And so he shut it down. Dr. Fauci went around his regulation. He funded more of that, and that's why he outsourced it to Wuhan in China, and he did it through a CIA cutout called the Eco Health Alliance. Now, we all know this is a fact. This is not my conjecture. This isn't a conspiracy theory. These are facts that we know that have been printed in mainstream corporate news. So why aren't people, if they're so angry about people who wouldn't take their vaccine or wouldn't wear a mask or wouldn't, why aren't they angry at Dr. Fauci, who we now know was the guy who invented that and did it illegally because Barack Obama had put a moratorium on that kind of research? No, but there's none of that. Why? Why is that? Because Dr. Fauci worked for Big Pharma. He worked for DARPA. And those are the 2 things that control your corporate news, is Big Pharma and the military-industrial complex. And so people can't realize how much they were lied to, how big the lie was. We never needed lockdowns. We never needed masks. There's no science to back up either of those things. They lied about herd immunity. They lied about natural immunity. They lied about the vaccine stopping transmission. They lied about the vaccine stopping contraction. They lied about how deadly the virus is. They overcounted people, the whole thing. And they also lied that the vaccine was safe and effective. 1 out of 800 shots causes a serious adverse event from COVID vaccine. Do you know when they had the swine flu vaccine, 1 out of 100,000 shots causing an adverse event, and they pulled it. It's a lie so big, your brain can't comprehend it. And I run into this all the time. People it's an emotional thing when it comes to COVID. It's not about facts. It's not about science. They said you have to trust the science. You don't trust science. Science runs on questioning. And if you can't question something, it's not science. It's now a religion.
Right. The whole concept of the scientific method, which advances science, is based on questioning science.
That's right.